we're going to be making a turmeric lassi. Some of you may have joined us just the other day when we did a webinar where we talked about all the food stuffs that we should be eating to really kind of support our health. Today's lassi is going to incorporate lots of lovely ingredients, which is things like ginger and lemon and turmeric, honey as well, which is well-known superfoods that help to kind of support our immune system and our overall health and well-being. So a turmeric lassi traditionally comes from India, where they combine kind of dairy products, cold dairy products with turmeric and honey and spices. So it helps to keep them healthy, but also keeps them cool because it's a cooling drink. So let's get started. It's really simple. I've been drinking this every day this week and I've actually really love it. So what I'm going to do today, I'm not using dairy milk, I'm using homemade almond milk, but you could use normal cow's milk, you could use hazelnut milk, you could use almond milk, you could use coconut milk. The choice is yours, and I've got about 250 mils here. So I'm just going to pop that into my blender pot in there. So my milk is nice and cold. Now the way to keep this sweet is I'm going to add a banana. As you can see, my banana is quite ripe, which will give it more sweetness. I'm just going to add that in there. What's quite nice about using a banana as sweetness is you don't need to use any extra sugar, or you don't need to make a sugar syrup, which is traditional in a turmeric lassi. So we've got almond milk and banana. So now I'm going to add turmeric. So if you haven't seen turmeric before, it's a bright yellow spice. It's got this very curry flavour. So you might think, what are we doing putting this in a smoothie? Well, actually, when balanced with ginger and lemon, it is fantastic. When using it though, do be careful. If you get it on your clothes, it's really difficult to get out. So I'm going to add about a good teaspoon, as you can see there, maybe a little bit more into there. I might add a little bit more because it's really good for you. So I'm just going to add a bit more. So like I said, when you use turmeric in something other than a curry, the way to balance it is through lemon juice and ginger. So I'm just going to add my lemon juice. So in this recipe, I'm probably going to add half a lemon juice, more or less. I've already squeezed my lemon here, so I'm just going to pour that in, all in there. And I'm also going to add this piece of ginger. Where's my grater? So I'm adding quite a bit of ginger. It's really good for you, again. Adds a real nice freshness and a little bit of spice. So spice is in heat. So I'm just going to grate that in. Now you could just pop the whole ginger in and blend it up, but I'm using a high-speed blender today. And the problem with high-speed blenders, even though they blend fantastically well, they can heat up quite quickly. So I don't want to put anything in there that's going to take a little longer to blend. So I'm just adding all that in. And pop that in and brush it off the side, get all the bits in. And I love ginger, I love the smell of it as well. Just put that to one side. So I've got my ginger, my lemon, my turmeric, my banana, my milk. And I'm also going to add a tiny bit of black peppercorn powder, as you can see here. And you might be thinking, what on earth are you doing? I'm not going to add much. I'm going to add about quarter teaspoon, so a little bit. Because they say black pepper and turmeric together helps your body to absorb and take in the turmeric better. So that's why I'm doing that. And I'm also going to add a tiny bit, not that I've got much left either, a tiny bit of honey, so probably the equivalent of 1 teaspoon. If you've got raw manuka or manuka honey, fantastic. I've got some lovely raw honey here that's just delicious that I get from my local shop. Get it all in there, fantastic. And literally, all we're going to do is blend. What you could do, which would be even better, is if you've got, like me, I'll show you, here they are. I've got some bananas that are quite ripe and I think, gosh, if I don't use these today, I'm never going to be able to use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them up and put them in a Tupperware box and into the freezer so they freeze. So tomorrow when I want to make the same lassi, I can just take out a chunk of frozen banana, pop it in there, and it'll keep the mixture really nice and cold. Because I don't want to add ice to this, because all I'm going to do is dilute that flavour and add too much water. So I don't want to do that. So let's go and blend. So excuse the noise for a second. And pop it onto my blender. If you haven't got a high-speed blender at home, it really doesn't matter. Just use your normal one. You don't need fancy gadgets for anything like this. So I think we're on. No, my plug's not working, so bear with me. Let's change the plug. There we go. So just going to turn it on slowly. Turn it up so it's super noise. Pretty sure we're all blended now. Let's open it up. So the important thing, whenever you're making anything in the kitchen, anything at all, whether it's a lassi or a curry or a breakfast bowl of some description, is try your foods, because for you, you might really like a bit more ginger than what I do, or you might like a little bit more banana or less. So it's really important that you try these things. I like, oh, it's really nice. What I think I'm going to do is, the turmeric in there is a little bit strong and the ginger's quite strong, so I'm going to add a little bit more lemon, and that will just help balance everything out. So just squeeze my lemon really quickly. And that's a good thing to know. Whenever you're using spices, whether it's for a lassi or a curry or anything at all, lemon is your balancer. There's a thing that will just help to create a little harmony between all those ingredients. Just going to give it one last blend. There we go. Now lassi, you can make it with mango, which would be really nice as well. I'm just going to try this one more time. It's fantastic. I love it, I love it, love it. It's got some really sharp aftertone from the ginger and lemon, so it feels really cooling and really refreshing. You can see the beautiful yellow colour, so it just looks delicious. And if you want to make this look even better and have more health-giving properties, I would sprinkle a little bit of bee pollen on top, but I don't have any today. So let's try it. Oh, just wonderful. So these recipes will be up on our blog very soon. Dead simple, give it a go. Like I said, if you keep trying your food when you make them, you can adjust it to your taste. Perhaps if you're making this for children, you might think, oh, they're not going to like that. Allow them to try it, but reduce some of the turmeric, take out the peppercorn completely. I'll just use the banana, the honey, a little bit of turmeric, lemon and ginger, and see how they get on. But this is great, so enjoy. If you have any questions at all about how to create a lassi, or maybe you've got other ingredients that you want to try out, pop them in the chat box below and we'll get back to you. Thanks again.